What's up, everyone? Alex here, and welcome to my little corner of the internet. I don't know what that means. Just it's a corner of the internet, but it's like a globe. I don't know what I was doing with that. I think I was encapsulating myself. I don't want the bigots to know that I'm encapsulating myself in a proverbial bubble, but that is what it looked like I was doing. I don't know. I've been gone forever. I have not been uploading. I've been thinking about uploading. I've been writing ideas down for new topics, and then I just never upload. I have not been doing well, but I am trying to slowly get back into the swing of things. Every time I attempt a vlog like this, I tell my viewers that I'm slowly trying to get back into recording, and then I never upload whatever I end up recording. So I guess this is like 10% vlog and like 90% gender talk, because I like talking about gender. I like new gender discoveries, whether it's a new term for something that is that I find interesting, or if it's something I actually resonate with and I just kind of stick it in my gender hoard. There are gender terms out there that I really enjoy, so I, kind of put them away in a little alphabetized cabinet of genders. And I don't really use them for myself, but I think that they're really cool because they're kind of parallel to my experience, which is how I came across this topic specifically. So I plan on doing this as probably February's YB3 topic. I'm not sure, but I discovered a term. I think it is pronounced Otherin, and a lot of people have probably heard about it if they're in my circle of viewership, followers, the Discord server, anyone I tend to interact with a little more regularly know what this term is. But it's basically something that is a gender quality that is outside of male, female, neutral, androgynous, and anything in between those, anything related to those, but still with its own gendered quality. So if you can imagine the little, four square of male, female, epicene, which is androgynous, neutral, those four qualities, if you were to flip it, so it's the base, Otherin kind of acts as a fifth point to kind of make it into a pyramid, so it's a more three-dimensional model, which is really interesting how that works, and that's how I plan on, kind of visualizing it and representing it in the zine, because I like to use illustrations to represent gender concepts. That's how I plan on representing it, because then you have this 3D model of these four gender qualities, the fifth one creating this basically four-sided base pyramid thing. But then zenity, the quality of xenogenders, lies outside of that entirely. So you have the pyramid, and then you have zenity that exists outside of all of those qualities, that are usually represented by human qualities of gender, human understanding of gender. Otherin includes a fifth, sixth, or seventh gender quality outside of male, female, neutral, and androgynous, but it's not Zenin, so it is not related to being xenogender. So it is specifically atrinary, meaning not the male, female, neutral triangle of gender qualities. It's considered the gender trinary because usually androgynous, also called epicene, usually lies between feminine and masculine, so it's not always counted. Sometimes it's considered four gender qualities, sometimes it's three, male, female, and neutral. Anything between those are just sort of variations of the other things on that trinary, so it usually isn't counted. So that's why atrinary refers to anything that isn't feminine, masculine, or neutral. So we probably already know a gender that falls under that. It's Maverick. I have found myself drawn to the gender of Maverick. The gender quality technically is Maverin or Aperin, which is apora gender, meaning like anything outside of male, female, or anything in between, but has its own like gendered quality or genderedness to it. But the overarching atrinary gender quality would be called Otherin. And it's a highly, masculine and feminine are pretty highly individualized gender qualities. So it's like masculinity, femininity. They refer to different experiences depending on who you ask. So my kind of masculinity is based on how I was raised, how like I wasn't really raised in a highly masculine space because of like I was allowed to be a tomboy, but not like I wasn't raised as a man. So my understanding of masculinity is stuff that I've learned and picked up, just kind of like pieced together into something I call soft masculinity, or some kind of queer or non-binary masculinity. But somebody else might have a different experience with masculinity. So these are subjective but very real gender qualities, and that works for neutral, it works for androgynous, it works for Xenon, and it works for Otherin. So Otherin kind of exists as a very subjective, very tangible sort of gender quality, and it just depends on the kind of person that you ask. And it can be really, it's just like any other gender quality. You can be genderless and feminine. You can have many genders and be very masculine. You can be completely androgynous, but you're like some kind of xenogender, and you can be Otherin and any kind of gender at all. It helps. It really helps to visualize these gender qualities and what lies within, the space that we understand, and outside of that space that we understand. Like I really appreciate that there are names for things that are like the trinary, and then outside the trinary, and then outside of anything that we typically understand as humans, when it comes to like gender quality or genders in general. Because I have always said that, like, I'm part male, mostly male, and part neutral, is how I've always described it, at least for the last couple of years. And neutroi was probably the closest gender term that I came to that. But it oftentimes feels like that other part of my gender is outside of, male, female, or neutral, and it's not genderless. It feels like a fifth or sixth or seventh gender quality. It feels like something. I know it's not xenogender. I've talked about, narrowing down what to really call my gender experience, and I know that I've said, like, definitely not xenogender or xeno-aligned in any kind of way. I love using Zenity to describe my experiences with gender, but I don't really like consider myself xenogender otherwise. But Otherin, like I could, instead of saying like I'm like mostly male and something neutral, my brain has kind of shifted to thinking that maybe like it's not something neutral, but something Otherin. Maybe it's something like that hasn't been discovered yet, there's no word that's been coined for it yet, but it still exists as something gendered there that I cannot figure out yet. I'm not really sure. Green still represents that part of my gender quite well. If you follow YB3, the zine, the blog, either one, I use the two hearts to represent, it's my gender, but it also represents YB3. I'll usually, at the bottom of my blog posts, I'll put like the two heart emojis, and it's a blue one and a green one. And that has always represented being male and neutroi at the same time. Green still fits in the place of whatever that neutral gender would have been, because maybe it's not neutral, maybe it's something else. But I'm not sure anymore. But I find myself questioning again, which is kind of exciting and kind of weird because I don't know where it's going. Because I haven't really had a lot of room to explore my gender, pronouns, like gender expression, anything like that. Like, I haven't really taken the time. Like, I kind of came across like the bigender label, and then I just kind of like decided that was it right now. Like, I got to figure it out for now. I don't want to touch it anymore. So it's kind of weird to like kind of be back in it when I hadn't been thinking about it in the longest time. But that's pretty much it. That's what I'm thinking about lately. So, I was fascinated with the term maverick, and I like that, it falls under a specific type of gender quality, which is like, that's interesting because now we have a word for things that are not related to maverick, but are kind of in a similar category. And I like that. I know maverick was meant to be like a standalone singular gender. It still is. It is not an umbrella term. It exists as its own identity, but it does fall under a larger umbrella. And there might be terms that are similar to maverick that, I haven't yet discovered but fit my gender experience. I have done research, I've looked around, and it's a very new concept. Having like maverick fitting into a category where like there's other similar genders, it's not a lot under the Otherin umbrella. So I haven't really like found anything that quite fits what I'm feeling. But it's kind of exciting. I feel like I'm in some kind of like gender like renaissance or something. I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm going through like another phase of a gender experience that like I don't know where it could go. It almost feels like I'm dipping my toes back into how the beginning of my channel felt, where it was like, okay, I'm a demiboy, I'm part male. What's this other part? Like, there's gray stripes on the flag. What's that gray area? Something fills that in. I'm not just like 80% boy. There's something else there to make it one entire identity. That's not always the case for demigender people, but for me, that was always my experience. So filling that space has always been my goal. I don't know why. It just feels more complete that way for me. It's like bookending. It's like finishing the story like of my gender experience. Like, I know this part, I need to know the rest so that it can kind of like come together coherently, and then I can finally say like, okay, this is what bigender is for me. It's this. But yeah, I guess that's all I have. I don't know how often I'm going to be uploading videos, but I do have this for you for now. I have a million ideas at all times for videos, and then I lose my self-confidence, and then I just don't want to like upload. It's the scariest thing to like go back to the internet and put my face up. But I'm so close to monetizing my channel. I don't like when people talk about numbers and money, but I do have to say that like it's just the watch hours that I'm missing. I hit my mic. But it's just the watch hours that I'm missing. If I could do this regularly, like, I guess I could monetize the channel. I don't know what that means for me, because like it's not a very big channel anyway, but like it's a step. It's something nice, something to do. But I mean, I've been doing this for 7 or 8 years, kind of on and off a little bit. So it was never the money. Like, that's not, like, I don't make money from any other work that I do on the internet. So like, that's never been a motive, but like, it's nice, I guess. We'll see what happens. But I still want to regularly make videos. I just need to, kind of crawl out of the mud pit I've fallen into. I guess if you hit rock bottom, the only way out is up. I don't know. But that's about it. So I'm signing off for now. See you later.